I discovered the affair when I came home early to tell her about my diagnosis. Terminal illness, SS caught in action. On the 1st of December I got the news I was dreading. All of the tests have confirmed the diagnosis. I have stage 4 pancreatic cancer. So basically this will be my last holiday season. I am okay with what is going to come. I am at peace with that. I have had a life well lived. All of my loved ones will be taken care of. I am naturally a private person, so my WW, Jane, is unaware of my tests. I did not want to worry her until I had answers. So I head home early to have the talk. This is not something I want to do over the phone or text. Well, as you can guess, since I am here, my life changed more than once that afternoon. When I arrive at the house, I notice the car of one of my business partners in the drive. There was no mistaking it, flashy, expensive with a personalized license tag. To say this is out of the ordinary is an understatement. I pull up our home camera system on my phone and notice it is in privacy mode, not recording. So I let it be and drove off to my farm property. Now our camera system is for safety and I never look at it unless there is a concern. With that said, I also love to watch for wildlife on the outside cameras. I also find it oddly satisfying to watch storms come through. So for my own enjoyment, years ago I configured a second video recorder to archive the cameras to local storage. That storage is not accessible via my phone. So when I was at the farm, I opened up my computer and looked at the other server to confirm what my gut was telling me. And sure enough, there they were, snuggling in the living room, drinking wine, dancing, then going up to the bedroom suite. Apparently they left the doors open because the microphone recorded their activities after they left the camera view. With my limited time left, I wanted answers, but I don't want the drama of a confrontation and divorce. Call me what you will. But all of my devotion and love for her left me that afternoon. I have all of the emotions that are to be expected. I know that I am not to blame. I have been a loyal, romantic, and attuned partner. I am now thinking about myself. I know what is important to me. So I called my lawyer and we reviewed my will and our prenup. I told him what was going on. We worked on understanding of how long and to what extent this affair has been going on. What has been found is disturbing, and I either clearly did not know the woman I shared 2+ decades of life with or something interchanged. At this time I am not going to say anything to my kids, WW, and I never had children, or WW. I am going to put on a stiff upper lip and get through the holidays. Give the kids and grandkids one last holiday memory with me involved. I will be the doting father and grandfather, and then try to play the doting husband role. Some background for some of the obvious questions. AP is a widower and is not remarried. He is a business partner, but not a friend. I do not invest with friends. I never married my twins' mother, M and F. It was her choice and I completely agree with her that at that time she made the correct decision. My kids' mother, Sarah, married a very wonderful man, Steve, when the kids were 7. Sarah and Steve never had kids of their own. I got my head out of my ass when the kids were 3. I have been very involved with them before that, but that is when I started my road to be the father I wanted to be. Sarah and I co-parented well together, and I would call Steve a friend. Sarah, Steve, and I are in our 60s, Jane is almost 60. AP is in his 50s. Jane and I are both in our first marriage. We were in our 30s when we married. What do I need? An outside outlet and release valve. If I am going to accomplish my goal, I need to vent my anger and talk through my situation. What better outlet than internet strangers? I am at peace with how and when my life will conclude. Story 2. Girlfriend cheated after engagement ring shopping. Hey all. So this story happened about a year ago at this point. For context, my girlfriend at the time, 24F, and myself, 26M, had been together for about 3 years. The question of marriage began popping up, especially with other friends of ours getting engaged/married and having children. It was just that point in our lives. She was the love of my life. My first love. I would have done anything for her. So when she started dropping hints, I decided to move forward and figure out what type of an engagement ring she would want. After work one day, we headed to the jewelry store and found the perfect ring. I was planning on coming back in a month or two to purchase it once I had saved up some money. It wasn't overly expensive, but would have nearly wiped out my savings. A few days later was the weekend. One of my friends, Dex, invited both of us over to watch a UFC fight on Saturday. For context, Dex is about 18 years older than me but has been a family friend for a long time. I thought he was the coolest guy in the world when I was a kid, definitely someone I looked up to. So now being an adult and being friends with him is a childhood dream. Anyway, normally I would have the weekend available to do whatever, but I had a side job and my client needed me to film some property in a different city early in the morning on Sunday. I decided to head up Saturday night so that I didn't have to be on the road at 5 a.m. on Sunday. I told Dex I couldn't make it but my girlfriend could go. They were friends too. I trusted her and I trusted him. Couldn't imagine either of them ever doing something to hurt me. So she goes to his house to watch the fight. Around 11 I went to bed and texted her that I love her and I'll see her tomorrow. She replies in her usual bubbly manner and tells me she loves me too. Sunday morning rolls around and I text her good morning. She responds but not in her usual bubbly way. I thought it was odd but figured she was just hungover or something. I went to work and then called her to let her know I was done and that I'd be home in a couple hours. She didn't answer. I thought it was odd but maybe she didn't hear her phone or she was in the bath or something. I stopped a few miles down the road to get gas and tried calling again. Still no answer. This wasn't usual behavior from her as we talked all day every day. We were best friends. I started getting a bad feeling in my gut. I knew something had happened and just hoped for the best. I finally made it home after the longest drive of my life. She wasn't home. I called her again and once again, no answer. I called Dex, assuming she was still at his house. He told me she left after the fight last night and hasn't seen her since. About an hour later she shows up at home with some groceries. She walks right past me and doesn't say a word. I try saying hi and asking her about why she hasn't responded to me all day. She continues putting groceries away. A few minutes go by and I am fuming. Then all I hear from the laundry room is "I cheated you," I asked with who already knowing the answer. She confirmed my suspicion and came out to the living room where I was. She got on her knees and started bawling her eyes out in my lap. This went on for a while and I had no words. Eventually, I told her I needed to think and asked her to leave. Fast forward 6 months, we broke up. I thought I could move past it. She really seemed genuinely sorry but I just couldn't trust her anymore. Lesson learned. Don't try to make it work with someone you don't trust. Story 3. Phone told all I needed to know. The facts are this. I dropped the bedroom TV remote, it fell under the bed. I asked my wife if I could borrow her phone to use the flashlight to find the remote. She didn't think twice. Handed it to me, I searched and found the remote. And as I did, she received a text message. It simply said, "Damn, I miss you, baby." His name was attached to the message. When I got back on the bed, I was still reading his message to her. She asked, "What are you reading?" I said, "I'm not 100% certain. But, so-and-so says, damn, he really misses you, babe." Her face turned pale. I didn't offer another word. Simply got up, grabbed my clothes, and went to the living room. She didn't attempt to offer any explanation. No apology, nothing. The feeling of betrayal from the one person I thought I could count on was unbearable. I didn't speak to her, I couldn't. I was mad, upset, hurt and pissed. I dressed for work and left. I stayed with my brother the next day after getting off work. She tried calling, I refused to answer. She left a voicemail. She texted several times. I have no reply. I had to process this betrayal. Finally, she called again. This time I answered, and as she was sobbing, she apologized for texting and messaging, said that all it was. After all, with a little searching, I found the guy lived in NC. 11 hours away. And when I called his number, he told me what I wanted to know. Even included screenshots of their conversation. He had the balls to tell me he knew she was married. She knew he was married too. And if they had met, she would just have been a piece of ass. And that's it. We got past that. Fast forward to 2 months ago or so. A lady hit me up on Messenger, saying your wife is cheating on you with my husband. She had proof. I asked her to send it, not thinking she actually did. Boy, was I wrong. She had more than enough proof. Things I wish I could unread, images and videos she sent him of herself. She had an affair with the same guy when she was married to her first husband. And this guy her ex-husband's best friend as revenge. I found out they had been messaging each other, trying to find a time to hopefully meet and fuck again. Reliving the past, I guess. But he never found the time to make it to our town 6 hours away from him. I also learned from his wife. And the dates on the messages, this has been going on for years. And going on from day one of our relationship start and eventual marriage. She even sent a screenshot of her in her wedding dress with no panties on. I don't know if I can ever believe anything she says again. And after asking for couples counseling, and she did attend a couple of sessions, then quit. I feel sad that the choice I have made, even though the right one for myself, still sucks. After all, I truly loved her and have her all of me, and did everything for her with love. Unfortunately, all I have now is anger and hatred for her for ruining our marriage.